touching on what they actually said, right? We don't know everything yet. We don't know all the rules set yet. They're not ready to reveal everything. He did say that. But Blizzard doesn't feel like they need to go in there and script how people play and trying to make it as social as possible in line with Classic WoW. As far as I can tell, again, it's going to be Classic WoW, except if you die, you can't res. Which means we will have trading, we will have auction house, we will have grouping, and any amount of dungeons that you want, right? That is going to happen. And pretty much guarantee, yeah, that's what it sounds like to me, right? And I don't personally like that, but we'll have to see what meta arises from it. Luckily, like I said earlier, I have seen on Reddit and even within our own guild, Valor Morgulis, I have seen a lot of conversation going towards more what I was thinking. I thought I was going to be more alone in this than I thought, but I don't think I will be. How do you feel about Duel to Death? It's fucking awesome. It's fucking sweet as shit. There's some cool shit. The Ghost chat is fucking sweet, and the Duel to the Death's fucking sweet. And I'm hoping that the meta will arise where people still do use the hardcore add-on and do it the same way, but it may not. Again, the players will take the path of least resistance. So with all the normal rule set, what you do get is grouping will allow for face rolling through the world. Being able to group is going to allow for face rolling through the world. It's going to happen. Yeah, I understand that too, Classy. I do get that. I 100% get that. With no moderation. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully the meta arises, the community keeps the same meta, right? But ultimately, when you don't have those rules imposed upon you for it to count, you know, like since, like if to play hardcore on Bloodcell Buccaneers to be verifiable, you have to play with the hardcore add-on, right? Kind of. But now the official servers, like hopefully the meta arises where it's like, all right, for everyone's still playing with the hardcore add-on and fucking no trading, auction house, all that stuff. But the fact that you don't have to means that players will take the path of least resistance. So that means 5-man groups going through fucking Fargo Deep Mine, killing Goldtooth, right? No one's going to be dying to Goldtooth, hardly, right? You're going to be face rolling through the world in 5-man groups. You're going to be farming dungeons. You know, you're going to get to level 18, 19, 20, whatever. You're going to farm dead mines 10, 15 times. It's what is going to happen. We've seen it, the social experiment on Classic WoW. No changes! No changes! That gold sure does look tempting. Here's $5. Oh, 1,000 gold? Okay. Hey, who can take me through Scarlet Monastery for the next 10 hours? Yeah, it's just going to happen. The players take the path of least resistance. So, I mean, that is going to happen. I really think the fear of 5-man groups is overhyped. How many people love in a 5-man group in non-hardcore? I mean, maybe, but like hardcore, maybe. I mean, I think the fact that it is hardcore will incentivize people to maybe make more 5-man groups than in. Your point's valid, and like I said before, guys, we're going to have different opinions here. Now that we're getting into the bulk of this conversation, we are going to have different opinions, and everyone just stay cool, okay? It's just a video game still. If you're watching this and you're offended, but from my opinions, like, don't be. I for myself as well. I'm not gonna try and get offended by anybody else's opinions, and everyone just stay cool, right? Everyone's gonna have a different idea on how to do this, and we're just talking about video game shit, right? So, and that obviously wasn't directed. No one's like, everyone's been cool in chat, so that wasn't directed towards anybody. I'm just saying, let's just all keep that in mind, right, as a community. So I really think 5-man groups are overhyped. How many people? Yeah, so I take your point there, and I agree with that. I do think that you are right about that. However, there is also a counterpoint as it's not hardcore. The normal WoW isn't hardcore, right? So now that it is hardcore and you can die, it may be like, hey, let's fucking group up, right? I think there will be more of incentive to group up and do 5-man groups, because that will be the path of least resistance. So, anyways, let me get through my bullet points here. Yeah, grouping will allow for face rolling through the world, and that's just ultimately what it is. That's why they didn't go beyond trios, because they just I've been like hearing like Winky and Cargos and them talking about it. They just said when they experimented with 5-man groups, they just found like there was just no fucking challenge really to dying, you know. And even though Imrandar's right, like how many people in non-hardcore group, I do think when you log on, and again, path of least resistance, they'll be like, hey, forming a group, right? You're just going to jump in it because it will be the meta to do. I think we'll probably end up with a meta similar to that. We have What's Up Like Here, you have non-hardcore and hardcore, so people on live servers have So on one live servers, you have meeting core. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Ultimately, one of those metas will take over. That's what I'm saying. Ultimately, in a year and a half, one of those metas will take over. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, ultimately one of those metas will take over. And is it going to be like, all right, well, the people still using the add-on and doing it like how we're playing now, just on official servers, are they going to be like, okay, we're back down to like 300 or 400 people doing it, and then like everyone's just playing normal classic WoW, but it's one life, you know? Or is it going to be like, all right, everyone's still using the add-on, and you can still play normal classic WoW in the official service with one life, but like the majority is the fucking add-on users because that's what the players want, right? That's the question. Like that's literally just the question. Like what is the meta going to be? Right, when I see a dungeon forming, I am quick to hop in on it, impulsive, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like right now with dungeon forming, like we're going to have dungeon spamming now. We are definitely going to have dungeon spamming. You're going to get to level 18, you're going to get in a group, and you're going to dungeon spam your levels up. And so, well, you better hurry, Ashnora. And that's okay. Again, like, it's not, like, it's just different, right? Like, it's not, I think that it makes it less special. I think what we just talked about why hardcore brought my love and passion back, and again, these are just my opinions. But again, I haven't felt this excited about an MMO since like 2003, guys. You guys know how much I fucking love hardcore. You know Batgasm goes again. The reason we are on Run 21 is because I am seriously, in my heart, in love with hardcore. Because it made me remember what old school MMOs felt like. To the point, for the last like years now, I've been thinking like, well, maybe my love for MMOs was just in my head when I was little because I was a kid. I was like, because I do not feel the same way about MMOs as I used to. And I felt like maybe I felt guilty, or maybe there was something like wrong with me, or maybe I had it wrong. I don't know. It felt pointless to be playing. It's just like, dude, like, what's the point of doing, even though like I wanted the light questing, did feel fucking pointless, but I also wasn't good at the fucking raiding part, so it just didn't fucking, like, it didn't hit. I was like, well, maybe it was just the time the MMOs were out back then, and versus like the time I was playing them as a kid, and maybe it was just a perfect storm, right? Hardcore fucking made me love MMOs again because it's so special. Doing Dead Mines, guys, we put it in our titles, like, dude, Dead Mines tonight, we're doing a Dead Mines run, right? Oh, I don't mind dying because I'll get to do Dead Mines again, you know? So it's made it feel so fucking special, right? So face rolling through the world in groups, it's going to trivialize the leveling, in my opinion. We'll have to see what happens. I'm not saying I'm right about any of this either. Do not take this as I'm saying I'm right. And then dungeon farming is going to become a big part of the meta, I think, right? And that's going to make dungeons not feel as special. It's going to make a lot of the gear from the dungeons not feel as special. It's going to take away a lot of that immersion. Trading will take away the every item matters aspect of hardcore. Trading's going to take away the every item matters. Every copper matters. Gold will not be as important. Bags won't matter anymore, which is one of the best feelings in all of freaking hardcore, are the bags, right? Someone posted this on the WoW Hardcore subreddit earlier, and he's like, when you're level 7 and you already got full bag drops. It was fucking, dude, seriously, someone posted, and then like one of the top comments was like, dude, finding the bag in classic hardcore is like literally the best feeling in any video game. And it's true. Finding the bag in classic hardcore is like such a great fucking feeling. And that kind of sums up everything I'm saying in one condensed little sentence. Everything that I'm trying to convey to you guys is kind of summed up in that. Finding the bag in hardcore. That feeling's gonna be gone, right? I was in Grays for Days stream and we were talking about like what a hardcore classic WoW card game would look like. And I was like, dude, Small Green Pouch would be like a fucking legendary card. You know, and he was like, dude, true. Small Green Pouch would be a fucking legendary. And that's gonna be gone, right? That's gonna be fucking gone. Because you'll just have an alt send you some money for some bags. Or you'll just have someone like, you'll buy, you know, some netherweave off the auction house, or, you know, like, what you're talking about was the reason hardcore I don't want persistent official hardcore just because one life limitation will not feel the same. Depending on the amount of people who play the meta in Radar. You're not wrong there. I'm not saying, I agree with you. I take your point. But what I'm saying is, we'll have to see which persist. If there's only like 200 or 300 people playing it this way, then I don't, for me on a personal level, I want to be part of the party. You know what I'm saying? I want to be part of the rat race. So like if everyone's playing, you know, without the add-on because that's the path of least resistance, then that will become the dominant way to play. And that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping, especially based off the Blizzard guy's words, he's like, let the, you know, not tell everybody how to play, that enough of like the hardcore community will still continue to use the add-on. Earlier today, it felt like nobody would because of the official way to do it versus the unofficial way to do it. But maybe that's not true. Maybe there is some hope in there, right? Maybe there's some hope that people will continue to do it this way. And it's just, they don't have to worry about appeals anymore, and they don't have to worry about griefing as much. Like, maybe it'll just take some of the stress, especially with like the permadeath off of the hardcore mods' shoulders, right? And they can just enjoy the game too. You know, but we still don't know which meta is going to take hold. We don't know that 100% yet in Radar, and that's what's scary. Just because I do love this, I do love how it is so much. I do love it with all my heart that I am afraid to lose it a little bit, right? But yeah, so bags won't matter anymore. But even on there, right, bags won't matter anymore because again, you just send yourself some gold. You're going to get level 1, and you're going to have your alt send you 15 gold, right? And it just takes away those immersions. Auction house is kind of a little different, but it's still kind of like, you know, takes away that feeling of getting an upgrade, right? It just takes away a little bit of that, like, everything matters. I'm living and working in this world, and it turns more into, okay, I'm level 1, I got my 20 slot bags, you know, it's like, it doesn't feel exciting, and it just takes away from the immersion for me. And a lot of those little things that I don't like about modern WoW or modern MMOs versus classic MMOs, I think will come creeping in. Hold on. I mean, hardcore was community-driven and created. That's why it's been so successful. That's true, and 100% that's true. I agree with that. However, that doesn't mean... It depends on what all the hardcore mods and streamers do, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has grown so much. It's grown beyond the hardcore community now. It's official now, and that just means it does change things. I agree with you, too, Smack. I'm not saying that you are wrong here. Again, don't take this as arguing, guys. These are just my opinions, right? I do agree with you. But now we're dealing with literal thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of more players, right? And so... like, it's like, okay, maybe it'll split, and you'll have the community using the add-on, and then you'll have the community that doesn't use the add-on, you know, and then are they still going to be able to play with the community and raid with the community that uses the add-on, right? Like, it does split it. One of the great things about hardcore was it was unified under one, like, people were doing the same shit, right? And so I do think that one or the other will become the dominant way to play. Ruined a good thing involving Blizzard, and then for acknowledging giving any research from a company that is notorious for not delivering its big oversight. You know, I still ultimately think it's a good thing because it's just exciting to see this happen. I'm glad it's happening. I think we're living through an historic moment with World of Warcraft. But we will just, have to see how it plays out. Um, I will say they hyped up this announcement and kind of gave little info. Well, I mean, all I expected was, hey, we're releasing official servers soon, TM. I think we got a little bit more info than I even thought we were going to get. We got official servers. They're not done with all the details. There's going to be more cool shit that we don't know about. We're getting the Macaraz / Duel to the Deaths, Permaghost, and they're going to allow trading and auction house and shit like that. So, I mean, I feel like we got a pretty good rundown. Frito, that's not a bad idea. Maybe just rework the add-on, rename it Solo Hardcore, freshen up the rule set. Yeah, potentially that could work. Again, I just hope a lot of people play it. I don't want to be the only motherfucker playing it that way. Is my point, Right now, the magic is I'm in an online world with people doing the same shit. I mean, if it's a fresh server with zero economy, if you do die, you don't have access to previous character's inventory and money. Yeah, but that will ultimately go away. You're still going to get someone to level fucking 30 farming, the point is you're still going to be able to have, your level 1 is still going to be able to at least have, 8 slot bags immediately because it's only 25 silver. So you get the fucking level 20 or 30 even, you need to farm up, you know what I'm saying? And you could be having an alt character that's alive that you just keep sending gold and gear to. You can have a bank alt that you send gold and gear to, and even if your character does die, you still have your bank alt that's alive that can disperse that money between your alts, So, I'm just saying, it does, bank alt, yeah, Borg, exactly. The hardcore experiment was in Psalm with Soul of Iron. I think that was a hardcore experiment. I think this is still a hardcore experiment. This is exciting. It may just be the music hyping me up, though. I think it's just the music. But it'll never be like this again. It's a moment in history. I agree with that. We are living through it. They never confirmed auction house training, though, could still change, fingers crossed. I don't think so. I think they did confirm it personally. We just watched it, and I think he pretty much confirmed that it's classic WoW with some few cool new features like the Duel to the Death. But when they said Blizzard, since it was community driven, they don't feel like Blizzard should script how people play it, and that's social at its core and stuff. I think that 100% confirms that auction house trading and all that shit. I think 100% that's happening. Well, yeah. I mean, I know that about Soul of Iron, but a hardcore experiment. But I guess I don't take the point of yeah. I mean, clearly Soul of Iron was experimenting with hardcore, but I guess I don't know what we're talking about. So, well, again, I think this is pretty much the full rule set. Hey, how you doing, Medicated? I think good to see you again. I think the only thing that we haven't been told is some of the cool other little features, personally. But maybe not. But I think this is pretty much we got the rule set. So let me finish reading what I'm saying too. Let me get through my notes. So yeah, ultimately, I just think the rules of hardcore brought back the specialness of the OG MMOs had. And I think that the relaxed rule set make things less special, therefore less exciting, and things that make modern MMOs feel more pointless to me will come creeping back into the game. Players take the path of least resistance with the new hardcore. Will the new hardcore meta? Yeah, so if people are taking the path of least resistance, and say people stop using the add-on, and it's only a very small minority of people using the add-on to play still, will the new meta just be still 5-man grouping and dungeon farming to 60 to raid again, only it'll be hardcore raids, right? So if you die, that's where it will be, because that's where the real challenge will be. You take the path of least resistance to get to the challenge, right? And that's what was cool about hardcore, is that the challenge started at level 1, But it's okay, now we can do 5-mans, now we can dungeon farm, guys. Here's how you get to level 60. You get a 5-man, you do this until you get to this dungeon, you do this 10 times, you go to this dungeon and do that 7 times, you do this dungeon until you get this much XP, you get this, you get this, you get this, and then raiding, that becomes a new meta. And before selling start, right. It is good. It does give me hope to see you guys saying this, though. it does give me hope to see some of you guys saying this, and it does give me hope to see the Reddit chat and the guild chat from earlier, because that means Imran Dar may be right. Maybe the majority will keep using the add-on. You know, your characters are not coming over medicated. It's not happening. But you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your time medicated, because that's not the point of hardcore. The point of hardcore is for these characters to die. You getting to 30 is the entire point of playing hardcore, right? At least for me. So you're not wasting your time. You're just playing the game. You know, it's like you just got 30 wins in Fortnite, and now just because they're releasing an official Fortnite server doesn't invalidate your 30 wins. You know what I'm saying? And you could use it as practice as well, right? Someone in my classic guild made 90,000 gold selling Sark Monster. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, here, let me get through this, guys. Yeah, we got a couple months. We'll get beta. Beta will be in a couple weeks probably. We just watched it. We just watched it too. So I need to get through my notes too real quick. So yeah, like, will the new meta be getting to 60, spamming dungeons to 60, and then like doing raids? That's what I'm saying. Like, is everything going to change? Right now, like, a high percentage of players are like level 1 to 15. Most of them, and that's why it starts, like, those starting areas suck, because like such a high percentage of players are like level 1 through 15 and die. Like, it's an actual, like, it's an achievement to get to level 20. Maybe not for all of you, but for me and a lot of other players, it is an achievement to get to level 20. So with full groups, like, that level is going to be much higher than it is. I think the let's just hurry through the content mindset is going to creep back into the game. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, Goldtooth, no, we don't have to worry. We can do Goldtooth at level 6 because there's 5 of us. We can do Goldtooth at level 4 because there's 5 of us, you know, or 3 of us, 4 of us. And I think it opens the door to boosting. Like, we're clearly going to have we're going to have steamrolling through the world. We're going to have dungeon farming and spamming. We're going to have dungeon boosting. We're going to have gold buying. We're going to have GDKPs. We're going to have bots. We're going to have all the things that I do not like about current MMOs, right? So, that's a thing. So, overall, I'll have to try it. Obviously, maybe there's a chance that the permadeath is enough. The perma-ghost feature is enough to keep the passion and love that I have and feel for, like, old school MMOs and hardcore going, but I'll just have to see. I'm afraid that I will not love it in the same way, since I did get into the MMOs back in the day. It was my favorite gaming experience of all time, and it was great to have that feeling back, and I'm afraid of losing that feeling. But ultimately, only time will tell. We'll have to play it, and we'll have to see how it is. And hopefully, if I don't love it, there's enough other people that feel the same way that we continue using the add-on and keep the party going, right? We may watch the video again, maybe. There's speculation achievement might come to hardcore server. I think that had a different level. I think that'd be neat for different leveling styles. That could be cool. Yeah. Like having like solo self-found like achievements, right? And if that's like what everybody's like doing, like, that could be cool. I don't know how long world first hardcore server, 67 days probably. Probably less, especially with like grouping and dungeon spamming. That's what I'm saying. It's not hard. You know, again, most people are dying 1 through 15. If you're getting in 5-man fucking groups, I think you'll be fine. I think we'll see 60 before 7 days. I think we'll see 60s within 3 days. 3 days, 7, yes, 3 days, 7 days. I think we'll see 60 within 3 days. How long Joker took? Can someone find it? Oh, yeah. Not Solid Sprite. I'm talking IRL as well. I'm thinking 3 days still, personally. Like, so now those are kind of my thoughts on it. I'm excited for official release. I think that there's some cool fucking things in it. I think 5-man fucking groups, count me in. Can I be in the middle? Best of both worlds, right? Okay, now Tane I can get into. So ultimately, final thoughts. I'm excited for the official servers. I think there's a lot of cool things that are coming to them, like the permaghost, no res, the duel to the death. I'm a little nervous about which playstyle will take over, and I'm a little nervous about losing some of the feeling that I love for it. But I am excited to try it and see what happens, and I'm excited to see what the people do. Honestly, I am excited to see what the people do. I can't wait to play the BTR. A few things that I want to see, obviously, is name reservation day, like they did with Classic, where they allowed you to log on just to reserve your name. I would like to see that again. I will not be streaming it. But I think that would be cool to be able to log on and get your names. And I want to see a super, super, super badass server name. It needs to be fucking perfect. Blood Cell Buccaneers is great as a server name, but it should be a server name that has killed a lot of people in hardcore. And I'm sure they already have servers for like Vagash and Hogger already, but like those would be good. Or Terminus, dude, yes, Terminus. Or hear me out, Undercity Elevator. Undercity Elevator. Server name, Undercity Elevator. Oh no. So there you have it, guys. Official servers this summer. We will definitely be playing PTR when it comes out, testing it out. I mean, it's again, as of right now, it's classic WoW with one life and some cool other little new features. I mean, that's pretty much it. So we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.